I take icing off the cake sometimes to eat the cake. I'm serious, really. Too much icing or too sweet of an icing. So it's like, sometimes be careful what you ask for, because then it's like, I'm taking it off, because sometimes the delicious part of the cake, it's the cake. So now it's like, no, I'm actually hungry for cake.
It's showtime, folks.
Hey everyone, and welcome to a very happy place. You see the smiling faces. I see Andy having a nice smile. I'm feeling pretty good too. Andy, is that smile is it showing that you're really in a good mood today, or it's just a whole front?
It's covering up so much hurt. No, I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm great. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well too. All smiles and happiness.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Because if there's a wounded Andy behind that facade, you can share with the world.
It isn't there. When isn't there?
Right. Well, okay, enough of this nonsense. People got to leave, so come on back, because Andy, I think Andy has a song for me, right?
Yeah, I do. So back in the day when it was you and Chris running things on this channel exclusively, I was a Ko-fi patron who would stumble in time from time and offer up a song. One of the bands that I offered you up was White Rabbits, and it was a song called Percussion Gun. Heavy on the floor, tom drum rolls. It was a live performance, I believe.
Okay. It's so funny. I remember the White Rabbits, the name, and the live. It was live. I just didn't remember the song name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
yeah, Percussion
cool.
Gun.
How long ago was that? Was that like over a year ago, right?
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah, wow. I think so.
What's the name of the song?
This is a song, and I'll just, we've already talked about the band so much, so I'll uncover some of the mystique that we usually apply to some of the first time bands we're listening to. But this is off the album that preceded the one that I had you guys listen to. So this is off their debut album. They have two frontmen. One plays piano, one plays guitar. The one that you listened to with Chris featured pretty much in the forefront was the pianist who was singing. This is the guitarist who's singing this song. This song is called The Plot.
Okay. No, I don't know the song. Did we like the other one, the percussion song?
Yeah, I think you did. I think you were. Is there a band called like Adam and the Ants or something like that? Or,
yeah.
You guys were comparing the style of drum work in that live performance to one of the tunes that he had listened to, and it sparked a conversation about it within the field, which was kind of news to me because I hadn't, again, sort of why I like coming to this channel. You guys are super willing to hear stuff from generations afters or even before yours. It doesn't matter, but I get, not only are you cool enough to listen to that you then start talking about stuff that I can learn about, you know what I mean? So it's like this symbiotic relationship type thing. So that was one of the things that drew me to the channel, was how well this was received and that you guys really liked the tune or whatever. So
nice. All right. Yeah. So now there's a little bit of pressure now for me to have to like this song, but I go in with open ears.
Of course. And an open heart always.
And I was about to say the open heart. Damn it, you beat me to it. I'm out of here.
Come on, we're at that point where we're finishing each other's sentences, Greg. I mean, doesn't that have something to say?
Actually, I really do have to be out of here to listen to the song.
Okay.
They didn't waste any time, man. Came right out of the gate.
Well,
Again, liking the rhythm section. You know, a lot of songs that Andy gives me, man, just the rhythm section with the bass and the drums and just the tightness. You know, and right now the guitar's not doing anything really crazy, but it's just they're all sort of working in tandem. And I just love the flow of it. Yeah. Let's see what else this brings. Just a couple piano notes. And I love, and again with the rhythm, and I love the tambourine. I love it. That's so cool. That's a problem. It's anybody's guess. He's not impressed. He's not impressed. But I'm so but I'm so that had all the elements, everything. It just was so appealing. I really liked it. I just wanted a guitar solo. I just wanted something more guitar, something more just coming in and just, even for 30 seconds. Yeah, that would have been the icing on the cake. The cake was good. The cake is tasty. That would have been the delicious icing on top of the cake. Yeah, but I'd go back to this, absolutely. And let's talk with Andy about this. Man, that was an impatient little bugger. I mean, it just, well, it just comes right. It just came right out of the gate. And it didn't stop. And I like that, love that actually with the tambourine. You know, I think because, you know, fuck, I'll edit this. Because, you know, you give me a lot of songs with like really good rhythm, like with bass and drum. You know, a lot of your songs, there's like that bass drum tandem. You know, I really find myself like, you know, where sometimes if I don't love the song, I'm still like, it's the rhythm. You know, you're drawn to that. I mean, that might sound silly, right? Because it's like, well, who's not drawn to really good rhythm, you know? But like, I think that's a kind of a signature stamp, you know, on a lot of songs that you give me. And this is another one where it just moved, you know, and with the tambourine, and it just, there was the piano. There was actually a moment. There was a part of the song where it was prominent, but like one piano sort of note, you know, and I was like, oh, I'm like, that's piano, and then ding. And it's the way I mean, the whole music is going on, and yet I'm hearing this one piano note, you know, so it's kind of cool how the producers sort of brought that out. And then I guess it was the bridge where the music gets stripped down a little bit and it's kind of tinkling of the piano, you know, a little bit more. So that was kind of interesting. I really liked his voice. I liked it a lot because he was singing at the end, he was singing something like he's not impressed.
Yeah.
Not impressed. Not impressed.
He's not impressed.
Yeah. So I did a little play on that at the end, and I said, well, I'm actually impressed with the vocalist. I really liked his voice. Yeah. It was kind of short, but it was over 3 minutes, but it felt kind of short. There's one thing that I'm going to nitpick on one thing now.
Feel free.
I'm gonna give you a shot to guess what you think I'm gonna say. Knowing me, and knowing what the song may not have, that maybe I'd be like, I wish that they had it.
I'm assuming it's something more general than nuanced.
What do I mean? My wheelhouse it's just not one, but I love what do I really love? Out of all the instruments in a song.
I thought you would be missing electric guitar, like some sort of lead, which is what I was going to say, like lead guitar. I was actually almost going to jokingly say cowbell because the staccato nature was like,
yeah, that's what it was.
yeah. But
no, it was actually that thing that ding, bang, 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 bang. Yeah. I needed that. Whatever. If you needed it, how come you can't say what it is?
You love it that much, Greg? Yeah. No, when you said it was missing something, the one thing I thought you would say it was missing was the lead guitar part, like some sort of like lead portion to add another, 30 seconds of music onto the tune and give you the one thing it sounds like you were missing.
As I said in a reaction that I just filmed, the cake is tasty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tasty cake. That's good. I just think that a solo, because, and again, the nature of the song, it was a moving song. It had all the elements. It had the guitar, it had the piano, it had the bass and the drum, and everything was moving. It would have been, because sometimes I'm like, oh, it needs a solo. I don't say it for every song. Sometimes it makes sense for, if they would have done that, I think they might have ruined it. Here, I'm thinking they missed the boat on it. So did I need it? No, because I enjoyed the song. But at the end, I'm like, as it was getting, and I actually looked and I was like, I see like only like maybe 30 seconds left. I'm like, I'm not getting that guitar. I'm not getting it. It's like, Christmas, right? And you're at the tree and the last present, right? And the last present goes to someone else but you. And you're like, damn it. I'm not getting that, that shiny whatever. I'm not getting it. So I was like,
it's interesting because a lot of the indie rock revival stuff that came around from like, I like to always think it was sometime around 2002 and it went to like 2014 was like the real heyday of it. There was, especially the guitar, like your typical four person band guitar, guitars, bass, drums, indie rock bands at that time, there wasn't a lot of lead guitar happening in those songs. Like those bands don't lean into that sound. They are very melody and rhythm based, and that's sort of like their wheelhouse. Like the vocalist carries the melody, and then you've got this strong ass foundation of rhythmic music. And then they'll add interesting instrumentation to songs here and there, right? But there's no like, all right, dude, the spotlight's on you for the next 40 seconds, shred it or do something on the guitar. Spoon does it a little bit, but a lot of these acts don't very much. And so you're right to be cognizant of that, or to at this point now be aware that that's like an attribute of this kind of genre of music.
Right. And it might be like sort of an unspoken, undocumented blueprint of indie music. Again, there's always exceptions, as you noted. I think that with indie music that has the guitars and there's pieces of the car, they have something maybe overlying, it's shooting overhead, you can hear it, it comes around, it's swirling in and out, but you never get a solo, but you're getting enough of a guitar here and there, This was where I knew guitar was playing, but there was never a prominent guitar piece to the song, and I just was like, oh, I just think it was ripe for that. But enough of that, enough of the bitching. Because I really enjoyed the song. I
think it's an astute observation. I think you can like a song in spite of it. You know what I mean? One doesn't determine the other. So I think you're, I'm not saying you're hating on the song. I can see
no, yeah. Saying. Well, here's the thing too. There are times where I take icing off the cake sometimes to eat the cake. I'm serious, really. Too much icing or too sweet of an icing. So it's like, sometimes be careful what you ask for, because then it's like, I'm taking it off, because sometimes the delicious part of the cake, it's the cake. So now it's like, no, I'm actually hungry for cake, and people probably are now just taking their headphones off and walking away.
Sweet tooth is barking.
They're like, you know what? Greg said cake one too many times. I'm out of here. So, but no, that was a really cool song. You got to give me more of this group. And I love the name of the group. I do. White Rabbits. It makes me think of Jefferson Airplane, and the White Rabbits song,
Yeah, absolutely. I think you guys may have even discussed that interesting factoid about them when you originally reviewed the first song I offered up to you guys.
Showing our sort of our age and our bias, it's like it's nothing like Jefferson Airplane. Get away from it.
I mean, who knows? I don't know the derivation of the name, so it may have been inspired by that, or maybe they were just like Alice in Wonderland fans, because I think that's sort of where that came from, the White Rabbit. But anyway.
And so before you go into it, and then I'll shut up. But as you get into the information, I really want to know about the singer. I like his voice a lot.
Okay. All right. I would suggest, and only because I know the amount of music you've listened to since I originally offered up them in the percussion gun request, but give the pianist a listen to, and then hold them up against this. Their voices kind of go really well together. I think they do a lot of harmonizing together. But yeah, the White Rabbits is an American 6-piece indie rock band. They're based in Brooklyn, New York, but they were originally from Columbia, Missouri. I know that they sort of formed around those two aforementioned frontmen meeting one another, and then sort of forming a band from there. A couple other bands that eventually ended in this final iteration of them. So this is off the 2007 album called Fortnightly.
Okay.
And then 2 years later is when they released It's Frightening, which has Percussion Gun on it. And then their third and last album that I know of, they're like on a hiatus right now, was 2012. So they've got 3 albums. All of them did pretty well. And I actually had the pleasure of seeing these guys play live in, I'd say it was probably 2008 or 9. And I saw them play with Spoon and another band called The Walkmen, and it was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. It was a lot of fun.
I think I've heard of the Walkmen. I think we might have reacted to a song by the
I think you did The Rat by Walkmen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all. And I saw all 3 of those bands have appeared on the channel. It's like a little victory for me. But yeah, that was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. A lot of fun. The members are Stephen Patterson, Gregory Roberts, Alex Even, or Evan. I'm not exactly sure how he pronounces it. Matt Clark, Jamie Livingston, and Rustine Bergal. So,
and out of those guys, who's the one who's singing the song?
The one who's singing this particular song is Alexander Evan, or Even. And he's the one who's guitar vocals. Stephen Patterson is the one who's piano vocals. And they're the 2 guys who sort of started the band.
Right. They alternate. So out of the 2, which one do you like the most?
I honestly like Stephen Patterson's voice the most, the piano player. But this may be my favorite song by them. So it's an interesting thing where I like more of the songs that feature Patterson, but this is probably, but I'll tell you, it's like you have your little idiosyncratic isms with what you like about music. Like you love descending guitar, descending notation. You're a sucker for a wah. Like you have things that you like. I love staccato, like it doesn't have to be hard staccato like metal, but I like the pop nature of staccato punching notes. Right. And that always catches my attention. And it is a rhythmic thing. So it kind of dovetails into your whole observation about me anyway. But this song is staccato the whole way through, save for that one little part where it's like where he's saying like, so we can have nice things, and it gets sort of flowery, but then it's like ding, 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 and it goes right back into that punchy staccato notation. I love that shit, man. It's mother's milk to me for some reason. So this song is almost all that, so I love it. That's sort of how I came. But I think that's why, despite it not being fronted by the guy whose voice I prefer, it's the one that resonates with me the most. So, and
the other guy's voice, are they sort of similar, or are they really
they're similar? I would say that the guy with the piano probably has maybe a little bit more range. The dude that plays the piano has got one of those quintessential front, and this is going to sound so weird, but you know how Steven Tyler and Mick Jagger have those like frontmen mouths, those giant mouths that can open up and get all the air in and out and create like a vacuum. Like this guy has one of those, kind of like a singer's mouth, as weird as that sounds, but if you know, you know. So he, I think, may have a wider range, but this guy's voice is perfect for this song. I mean, the guitarist is killing, and the guitarist and the piano player, no matter who's fronting, the other's providing really great harmonies the whole time, which is, it's nice to have two singers that aren't like, they don't create factions of fandoms or you know, create, you know, argumentativeness amongst the fan base. Like they're good together. There's no competition. It's just, you know, they're working in tandem all the time.
And who did the percussion gun?
That was the pianist. That was Patterson.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to remember that. What I liked about his voice here, there was I liked him, not saying the other guy doesn't have emotion.
Sure. Yeah.
I just loved the emotion that he was putting in. There was just this real, I don't know, there was just something about his voice that I was really connecting with.
The subject matter of this song lends itself to be leaned into emotionally too, I think.
So what is it about? Yeah.
Well, I can't say precisely, but it's this impasse in a relationship where like one person feels like they're carrying more weight than the other. It's like, you know, he gets up late and he gets upset, and I watch the whole thing happen from the foot of the bed. Well, I could stay in bed all day. Is that such an awful thing for me to say? Oh, that's a problem, and it's anybody's guess. He's not impressed. He's not impressed. So it's almost like the one person in the relationship is depressed or like not doing anything, and the other one's like, well, I'm going out and working so we can have nice things, and I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm coming home to you having not moved an inch, and you know, and it's just this, I don't want to say like it's a domestic abuse thing, but it's like a domestic impasse where one person feels like they're carrying all the weight of the relationship, and the other person is like, if you're in a funk, let's get you out of the funk. If it's an us thing, let's end us, because I don't want it. This is off kilter. Things are askew here in this relationship.
Yeah.
So I think that's sort of the main gist of it, and the anecdotes that they touch on throughout the song. And then he says, when she gets home, door is open. It ain't hard to wait outside when she was gone. That's a problem, and it's anybody's guess. He's not impressed. He's not impressed. So yeah, it's just this animus between two parties that are pretty clearly in a relationship. So,
which they're not going to be in a relationship for too long.
Yeah, right. Unless they figure things out. And this is sort of like a guy kind of at his wit's end, I think. He's not impressed.
Yeah, a lot of times they don't.
Yeah. Well, you're not lying there. I mean, communication is harder than the status quo sometimes for people. So they'd rather just stay in a rut than have to talk about it and talk through it.
The only way it really works out if the one side just kind of caves in and kind of sort of takes this attitude of this is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there was a movie about that, right? Like with that line, so as good as it gets, you know. And it's like some people that works, some other people, and I think rightfully so. It's like, you know, if it's not working for you and you feel like you're compromising too much and it's just, you know, going to eat away at you every day, you know, if you have that, again, that lopsided. Wow, that's interesting. So cool. I'm glad you gave me the meaning about it. Yeah. Because when he's saying he's not impressed, he's not impressed.
It's almost like he's not impressed with her. He's not impressed with where life is right now. There are all things that he's not impressed with. It's just a shitty situation, but an artistic way of presenting it. Something that I think has a lot of familiarity, or you know, we can connect to it. It's an accessible topic. So good tune, I thought.
All right. Yeah, cool. Well,
awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and take us out if that's cool with you.
Go ahead.
All right. Thanks so much for giving it a listen, Greg. I appreciate your open-mindedness and that open heart. Everybody out there in the audience, please feel free to give a like, share, and subscribe if you feel so inclined. Drop some comments in the field below if you're familiar with these guys or if you dug the tune. But until next time, Greg, John, or myself, we'll see you on the next episode of Into the Music.